A very good evening to you. I hope you can hear me. And for some reason, I was just panicking here. My face on camera doesn't work, so it's probably the cable. But I'll have to look in it to me tomorrow and get it fixed. So, how are we all doing? Do let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Oh, comments not coming through either. Oh, I'm gonna have to. I don't know. We're just gonna have to go with it. But at least I went back into the back end and put the captations on for you, so you should have subtitles. Right. Okay. So today we are going to play with this beautiful little kit. So because like part of February we still played with the January kit, what I decided to do, or maybe what we're gonna do for the next few weeks, like put something together and then just like sort of a little kit, and then we can play with it. I'm really excited over these. These are tiger eye beads. Absolutely beautiful. I don't even know which color to start with. I really do. I love this sort of fuchsia going into that aubergine color, and I have chosen some beads to go with it. So my sort of thinking behind this, but you tell me what you want me to do. My thinking behind this, that I would like to make a pair of earrings and then make a pendant to go with it. Now we got these little beautiful studs in there as well. Let me just get this out. These have got like a cup in them, so we can make a beautiful sort of bead around this beautiful bead, and then we will be able to glue that in the earring itself. I'm not quite sure what sort of design we're gonna end up with, but we're gonna work it out. I think they're really gonna look gorgeous. Right, let me know, how is everybody doing? How was your week? I'm sorry I wasn't able to be here last Sunday, but we're just gonna have to make up for it. We're just gonna have to keep bead and bead and bead. And do let me know what you have been up to in the last couple of weeks as well. What you have been beading. Perhaps if you can send me a picture so I can bring it in and show it to everybody as well. And we're just gonna have a good time. So you have to excuse my little finger. I had a bit of an accident with with a nail on my little finger, but it doesn't hurt anymore. I got a plaster on it. So what color shall we start with? So I got this beautiful fuchsia. I also have got this beautiful sort of charcoal gray going into black, with some gray and black beads, and the black bicons here. We got 3 mil and 4 mil, so I think I'm gonna use 3 mil on the earring and we're gonna use 4 mil on the pendant. But we can do all sorts of different versions, to be honest. You know, we might end up using both, so we could start up with one color and then come in with another color. So what color do you want me to start with? So we got a gorgeous green, we got a sort of a black, which is really good too. I'm wearing a lot of black at the moment, so definitely want to do the black one. And then we have this gorgeous fuchsia as well. While you tell me which color do you want me to demo with, then I'm gonna come and say hello to you all. So good evening, Shirley. Shirley's saying, oh, I have missed you. Didn't realize how much I look forward to your tutorials. Oh, thank you, Shirley. You've made my day. Thank you so much. Good evening, Rachel. Rachel, I hope you're all right. I seen it in the group that there was a bit of a mishap. I'm the same. So I hope you on the healing. Right. Good evening, Amelia, Michelle. Michelle's saying missed last week. I really missed it last week as well. But I was traveling to Hungary, so I don't think I could have like beaded very well from the car. But never mind, that may very well come one day. Good evening, Isla. Good evening, Mina, Debbie, Lindsay, Desire, Edward, Desiree. Sorry, Desiree, Teresa, Robin, Angela, I'm trying to read this such a small writing, but the rest of them are coming through now. Angela, good evening. Teresa, Lisa, Mina, Barbara, Michelle. There is so many of you here. Diane. So a lot of people saying fuchsia, green, fuchsia, pink. So I think use the red. That's sort of that colorway. I guess use the red. Yeah. So we're gonna start with that one, and I'm gonna put the other two to the side. So I love these beads. They are so beautiful, and you get that beautiful shine on these are tiger eye beads. You get them on cat's eye beads as well. So tiger eye are mined mineral, and cat's eye beads are made of glass. Fuchsia. What kind of kit are you using? So you know, Angela, we do like a monthly little pack, creation station pack on the website, and I decided to, because we went into February with January, I decided to just to try it and do a couple of little kits to like we're gonna use this for this weekend, and I got something else for next weekend, just to sort of keep the price down, and then you can see which one you fancy, and we see what's happening. Right, okay, so I'm gonna grab some thread and needle. Well, what color thread is gonna be the best? I reckon maybe that one, because if I add a purple in there, I think that's gonna stand out too much. So purple, no. Let's check the pink. I'm always kind of like to have the color matching more the seed beads rather than the larger bead, but I think this one is gonna blend in the best, so I'm gonna use that. Right, getting a needle, and we're gonna get started. Right, so you have to let me know what everybody been doing in the last couple of weeks. What have you been beading? I could not stop myself, and I did loads of samples for next week's live for Totally Beads, the Arcos beads, and I've taken a bag of beads with me, as of course you would, like you can't go anywhere without beads. I was actually talking to somebody not that long ago, and I said, like, I was so into yoga in my 20s, and I was thinking to become like sort of a certified yoga teacher. Well, you wouldn't see like in my body now, like I couldn't even do anything now. But I said, like, oh, I was really seriously thinking about, like, you know, going into that sort of direction, and then I met beads, then I met my beads, and then everything else went out of the window. Actually, I'm going to move these to this side. Always make that mistake. I put them right in front of me. Oh, you were definitely missed by everyone. Oh, thank you, Mina. Right, okay, so I'm going to start, and actually I'm going to take the crystals off as well, so I'm ready to go with that one as well. Michelle is saying, I love the Arcos bracelet. It's a little bit different from what we did in the Bead Club. This one is different pathway, and it's using different sizes. So you're still using size 11 seed beads, but instead of a 3 mil, we're using a 4 mil crystals, and the counts are will be a little bit different. I did pop her picture on there last night when I finished the last one. Lucy's popped the link in for the kits, what we using. Well, they're not really kits because we don't really know what we're going to be doing with them, but I got like sort of a general idea. Right, so I'm gonna move it. Look at how nice when you move them, how the light, how nicely they move around them. I'm gonna pop them to the side as well. I'm just gonna take one. Right, so we're gonna have to work out. I'm gonna go through this, and actually let's zoom in a little bit more. I'm gonna go through this, and we need to work out how many seed beads do we need to go around here. So because this is the 8mm bead, seed beads are supposed to be kind of like 2 millimeter-ish, these ones, but I reckon we can either 7 or 8 bead gonna do. I'm gonna put on 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7. Let's try 7. So I'm just gonna come through this bead from the other side, from my tail end, and see if 7 will be enough. No, 7 is not enough because we are still showing a thread there. So I'm going to stitch back and add another one on. So this is 8, and then coming through again. Is this enough? Like, let's push it to one side. I think it will be enough. Right, and I'm gonna pick up another 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm gonna come through from the tail end again. So I'm gonna form another little loop around here. Now I'm gonna go into my loop. It doesn't matter which one you're gonna go into. We're gonna come up to the top here. We're gonna pick up a seed bead, come down and pick up another seed bead at the bottom as well. I'm gonna try to do it tightish, so it just sort of sits and hugs around that beautiful tiger eye bead. Michelle is saying, love the fuchsia tigers. I love them too. And like, you know, they're kind of special beads. You don't really need loads of them. You just need one. So if we just add one in, that will, if we just add one bead in, let me just let the end go. And I think that will pull it together. Might be quite tight. Do we need 2? Do we need 2 or will we get away with 1? I think if I add 2 in, then it's going to be a bit gappy. So I'm going to go with 1 for now. And then we see, we kind of want to end up with an even number, or a number what we can divide with a particular number, because we want to add a second row, sort of fan this out a little bit. Now we could have perhaps done it with all in 15s, but I wanted to have this color in there as well. So coming through, so I added just 1. Yes, it pulled it to the front, but if I turn it around, yeah, that will be great. So we have got 20 beads on there, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna come up, and I think I'm gonna change to 15s. We're gonna come up and we're gonna add little crystals, sort of wanna add little crystals towards the outside of this. So if we 20, we can divide 20 by 2, of course. We can divide the 20 by 4. If we divide the 20 by 4, then we're going to have to go into every 5th bead. And then we can add another one in between. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So I'm going to pick up, how many? So if I look at 4, I'm going to jump over 4 beads. I'm going to have to pick up 3. I'm going to pick up 3 size 15s. And then I'm going to pick up a 3mm crystal, another 3 size 15s. And I'm going to jump over 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. And I'm going to go through the 5th one. And let's just see, how does this look? I think that's going to look cute. And then we're going to come and add another crystal in there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to pick up 3, 1, 2, 3, size 15, a little crystal, 3mm crystal, and another 3 size 15. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to jump over 1, 2, 3, 4 and go through the 5th one. Now I want to make sure when I pull this tight that I don't want one pull to the front and the other one pull to the back, because it's kind of like going to sit on top of that base row. So I'm going to turn that, and I want that to sit that way as well. And I'm going to repeat it 2 more times. So 3 size 15, 1 crystal, another 3 size 15, 1, 2, 3, missing 4, going through the 5th one. There we go. Again, I want this to end up on that side. There we go. And last but not least, another 3 size 15, a little crystal, another 3 size 15, and I'm gonna come through. Are we missing a bead? Or did I go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm a bead short because I haven't got enough there. So, oh, we only put 1 in, so we only got 18. No, my mistake. My mistake straight at the beginning. See, it happens to everyone. I'm going to take this back. I'm thinking we got 20 beads and we only got 18 on there. Should have counted. Well, we put 8 on, and 8 plus 8 is 16, and then we added a 1 in, that's 18. Oh, never mind. Very quickly going to take it back. So if we got 18, then 18 can be divided by 2, of course, can be divided by 3, can be divided by 6. So in that case, I think we're going to miss out 2 and then have it a bit tighter. This is the beauty of Creation Station. It doesn't always work, but we make it work, no problem. Right, just re-threading this needle. Come on, needle. There we go. So back to our base circle. We got 18 beads, not 20, only 18. Right, let's just pull these out of the way. We will get there. So if I only have to jump over 2 beads, and I'm going to go into the 3rd one. So if I'm only jumping over 2, then I still want a couple of seed beads, because as you can see, I'm coming out. Can I zoom in more on this? I think I can. There we go. As I'm coming out of that seed bead, so what I'm looking for is the size 15s to kind of go up until the hole on the crystal itself. So I'm going to go with 2 size 11s, 1 crystal, 2 size 11s. And I'm going to jump over 1, 2 and go through the 3rd one. There we go. I can't count tonight. What's going on? Louis, thank you. To have sent you an email with what I have been beading this past few weeks. Continuum from week 1 bead club. Cool. I'm gonna have a look at that one just in a sec, because my emails go into a different laptop. But I just opened up the program and it's going to come through, and then I have to copy over to the other one, but I'll sort it out just in a second. Diane is saying, I've used to have some blue tiger eyes. They were lovely. They're really lovely. It's like it's so nice sometimes, and you don't need to use a lot of them. Sometimes you just have to, and that actually sits better as well, I think. So I just want to keep that tail out of the way, and I'm going to keep going around. So I'm picking up 2 size 15, 1 crystal, 2 size 15. I'm jumping over 2 seed beads. Hopefully my math was better this time. Again, 1, 2, crystal, 1, 2, jumping over 2. Carolyn saying, only just found you. My reminder didn't work. Hope everyone is well. Sometimes these pesky reminders do work and sometimes they don't. Don't know why. Sometimes there's probably a glitch in the system. It's gonna look like a little flower. Let's get the tail out of the way. Have I crossed my tail? There we go. Right, what else have you been up in the last couple of weeks? Do let me know. Jules saying, hi everyone, I hope you are well. Have sent you a picture. My yeah, I see you. I see that one came in. I will get that one in a second as well. My hair come from my son's weddings in a couple of weeks. Oh, Natalie did that hair comb video in the 12 days of Christmas, didn't she? I love that. I made something like that for my cousin when she got married, the one who's got the baby now, a few years ago. And I made it sort of, it had side bits as well, and she didn't want a tiara, so it was beautiful in her hair. Right, okay, so we went all the way around. I'm just gonna pop this down. So we got a beautiful little flower. Now what I want to do, I'm gonna go up in one of these arms and I'm gonna put another crystal in between. So where I am coming out of that size 11, I'm just gonna go up in the two size 15, and I'm gonna go through the crystal and one of the size 15s on the other side. Then I'm gonna pick up another bicone and go through the next size 15 crystal, size 15. So I'm just going to slot an extra crystal in here. I think that's going to look great. And I'm going to go around and add one extra crystal into each one of those gaps. And we don't have to, we could make this earring smaller if you wanted to, but I think this is going to be quite a nice size. So this is maybe like a size of a penny, I think it's going to end up. Oh, I don't want any knots tonight. Was it a couple of weeks ago when we were just getting into knots all the time? There we go, almost all the way around. Just adding an extra crystal. Now we can go on and add more seed beads over the crystals as well. I need to come through that size 15 there. Hi Pauline. And keep going around. I put some hand cream on my hand and now everything is sticking to it. But my hands are so dry. I don't know you ladies how you find it, or gentlemen as well, because I think I've seen Edward here as well, that how you find it this time of the year. My hands just getting so dry. Right, there we go. So I think that would make a beautiful earring. Shall we add? I kind of like feel like it needs something a little bit bulking up. So either adding a second layer on the top and the bottom of size 11s or size 15s. We could either add it on the top of those. So there's two ways we could add like sort of an extra row of 15s to bring the 15s up here as well. So we could go back into the main bead and just add a circle on the top of it. We could also add more seed beads around the crystals if you wanted to. If you don't want to add any more seed beads, if we added, no, it wouldn't, there's not enough gap. If we added another 11 on the outside, let me just have a look. So if I just pick up an 11, and as I'm coming out of the crystal, I'm just going to go through the next crystal to sort of gap that 11 in there, but it's kind of not big enough. Can you see like it moves? If I pick up two size 15, then I think that's going to be too big because some of the crystals are not sitting. Let's just keep on with the 11s and see what happens. So we could add another row, but am I thinking that's might making it too big? What do we think? do we want to add another row around it? Shall we add another sort of row of seed beads around it, or shall we leave it a bit more plainish and add something in the middle? So I need you to let me know, and then I go and get Julie's picture. Do we want another seed bead around it, or we want to keep it smaller and add something more into the middle? Do let me know. What would you like me to do? And I go and grab Julie's picture so I can bring it in to show you. And Celia sent an email as well. Let me just... If you send it to me in Messenger, it's easier because I can bring it in easier. But here is Julie's picture. Let me just zoom out. That looks really beautiful. That's really, really nice. That is, I love wire work. That sort of is just so easy to... And my decided it wants to upgrade. Right, okay, so let's save this quickly. And then I can bring this across. So do let me know, what do you want me to do? That is beautiful, Julie. Well done. I love the purple, sort of, you use different purple beads in there. So do you want to add another row around it, or are we just going to add a row into the middle? Do let me know. What would you like me to do until I go and grab the other pictures as well? So I need to airdrop this to there. Doesn't really like it. It's on the same network. I was thinking about it now. So what we're doing? Are we adding another row around? Another row in the middle bit, Rachel is saying. Thank you. I think that would look great as well. It's not receiving it. Right, I don't know what's going on, but oh no, I think it's came through. So this image is from Lou. She's been playing around. I'm sorry, I can't turn the images I brought in, but that is beautiful. Again, I love how you kind of like with the same stitch you made a pendant in the middle. That looks really, really good. Well done. And I'm gonna go and try to grab Celia's picture as well of her bunting. And there we go. Yes, that's where I want to save it. I mean, this thing that looks really nice. Are they saying a row of 15s in the middle? Yeah, absolutely. I think it does need 15s. Right. Ooh, the bunting looks really good as well. Let me just drop it over to the other computer, and then I can bring it in as well. Let me just bring it in. I got it. We're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do some jewelry, some all sorts of different things in red, white, and blue some point. Maybe you do like sort of an April special or a May special for that. And this one is from Celia. That looks really good. How many are you planning to do? You're going to have to do like a whole row of them. It's going to look really, really good. I love it. Right, I have made 2 Russian spiral bracelets, Mina is saying, and now on the bracelet. Right, so I'm gonna go back. Oh, Ruth, thank you so much. Ruth is saying, please click the like button. Thank you. I always forget to say, and every single like is really helps the channel out. Right, so I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna actually take off this 11, this rogue 11 I added on the top now, and we're gonna go in the middle and add some 15. So at the moment, this is a little bit flimsy, and that's why I want to add another row or something in the middle, so we have got a bit more stability. Now there's different ways we can add it on there. We could just go in. Actually, if you're not going to add any more beads on the outer circle, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run around these beads one more time to strengthen them and to make them a little bit stronger. So that's going to make the earring a little bit less floppy, which is good. Going to try to go through as many beads as I can at the same time. There we go. And then I'm going to weave my thread into the middle, so I'm coming out of the 11s. So we got 18 beads on there. Definitely 18, not 20. So we're going to have to add some more on the top. We could even add more crystals on there if we wanted to. We got plenty of crystals, so we could add more crystals on there. I don't want to miss that 15. Just make sure I'm going through that one as well. Oh, Celia's saying she has done 17 so far. Wow. She's using brick stitch paper to design her own, and as I understand, then each one of the bunting then is gonna be a different pattern. I think that's gonna look really good. Right, I think that's it. I must have been around, and actually I went around and it's made it more stiffer. We just need to go and tidy up. So let me just hold up. If I hold up a larger crystal, no, I don't think so. I think stick with smaller. We could add more crystals in there, which would sit more to the front. So I'm just gonna follow any thread path created here. I need to come to this crystal, seed bead crystal as well. So, and then I can go down. This I got a bit of thread here, but that's my tail. And we're gonna pull this out. Actually, let me just cut the bobbin off so I can pull that through, because that's gonna annoy me that it's sitting just right there. So I'm gonna pull the tail. I'm just gonna pull that tail through. There we go. And I'm gonna go in the middle. So I'm gonna go through that 15 and then through the 11. And actually I'm gonna, I wanna be on this side because I wanna stitch anti-clockwise. And if I turn it around, then would be stitching clockwise. Yeah, that's right. So let's pull the tail to the other side. So it's out of our way. So I'm just gonna hook that in with my needle and pull it back over to the other side. So sitting in the right way. There we go. So I'm not sure what sort of design shall we add on the top of here. There is a couple of different ways we could add more, maybe if you pick up a couple of 15s in between, that would look good as well. We could actually pick up 3 15s and go through 2 seed beads. Let me just go through a few of these 11s so I'm not straight in from the side. Maybe I even run almost all the way around to tighten it up a little bit before I add any more. Because the more you go around your beads, the more they're going to tighten up. Especially those extra ones which we added. Want to really tie them in. Right, okay. So, Come on, thread. I don't want you to be naughty tonight. Just coming up almost around. We were by the tail. So I know I just got a few more beads to go through. What's going on with you, thread? I have got probably every single one of my scissors in the lounge, and the only one I got here has got no sharpness to it. Right, so we're gonna add some 15s on the top here. Shall we add crystals as well, or just 15s? Do let me know in the comments. What would you like me to do? Add more crystals in here as well on the top, or we're just gonna add the 15s? What shall we do? 15s only, or adding the crystals as well? I think if we come up and we loop back this time, don't go forward. So if I pick up 2 15s again, I pick up a crystal, another 2 15s, and instead of skipping some beads and going forwards, I'm going to loop back. So I'm coming out of this bead here, and I'm going to jump back 1 2 beads, come through the last 2. So if I come through the last 2, I will be exactly in the same position as I am right now when adding the beads. And I'm going to pull this up. We might have to take this off, but I think it's going to work, because then we're going to have a second row of crystals on the top. Maybe the 2 seed beads is too many. Maybe we just need 1. And then we can pull those together again without... Now just look at it from the side. So if I show it to you the side, this is how much it comes up. And when I want to, yeah, the two seed beads are too big, because it's going to come up too much. So I quickly need to pull it back, and just 1 seed bead, then the crystal. And then what we're going to do, as we're having the crystals, we're just going to pull the crystals together without any seed beads in between. So on the outer circle, we got 1 seed bead in between the crystals. So that's why the size of the circle is better. And here at the very end, we're going to pull the crystals together with no seed beads in between, creating a smaller circle, which then will sit tighter. I don't know what's going on with my thread tonight, which will sit tighter towards the inner side. Right, so I'm taking off the seed bead, 2 seed beads, the crystal and the 2 seed beads, rethreading my needle. I think we thread needles so much. Right, so just 1 seed bead, 1 crystal, 1 seed bead. I'm stepping back 1 2 beads. I'm coming out there. I'm gonna come through the one just right there and pull this up. Now let's have a look. Yeah, that sits much better. Can you see? It's sitting much closer to our base. So that's what we need. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through the next 2. This time I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and 1 crystal. And I'm going to go down on the size 15, which is where added in a previous loop, and along the 2 seed beads, and pull this up. Then I'm going to go ahead and jump, and not jump, but go through the next 3 seed beads as well. And again, picking up 1 size 15, 1 crystal, going down on the size 15 from the previous loop, along the 2, and then along, I'm loving this second row of crystals. I think the camera doesn't pick it up as well as I can see it here sometimes. It just really, I think it just get really gonna sparkle it up. What do we think? But then if you wanted to make a smaller version, you can just add like this row and forget about the first row, the first sort of crystals we added, and just add these crystals. Maybe with the other color, after this, I'll grab out the other color and we do just that with another color, and then we can compare how well does it sit. So 2 seed beads going down on the size 15 along the 2 there, and then along the next 2. So I'll be in position to add further beads. That is saying that would be a nice bracelet. If you joined a few together, Angela is saying it would make a nice bracelet. Absolutely. It would be like little flowers. But it's like anything with components. Like, you know, you make a few up and you can really link them together. And sometimes I think as many of us in the life here, we would look at a component and do complete different things with it. Like some of us would turn it into earrings, some of us would turn it into a bracelet. It depends what you like the most. Like for me, I always think of earrings because probably that's what I wear the most. Although no, I have got a little earring in my ear today. I almost said I haven't got anything in today, but I have got an earring in today. So just keep adding. I'm almost all the way around. And my thread is not behaving. What's going on? What's going on with you, thread? I have to admit, this is one of my older threads, I think. Maybe. Because I don't really use this burgundy color so much. Or this is really shaping up very nicely. Oh, I need to skip 2 more. I need to go through 2 more beads, not skip them and go through them. Right, size 15 crystal through the same 2. And then I will be adding my last one. I think this is shaping up really, really nicely. So going through the next 2. And then now, instead of picking up size 15 in a crystal, I'm going to come up that size 15, which is already on the first loop, which we added, pick up a crystal, go down through the size 15, added in previous row, and come along the 2 at the bottom. And now I'm going to come up in that size 15 again. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sew the crystals together without adding anything in between. Just really pull them nicely and tightly together. And there we go. Keep going around. Maybe we could have got away with a 15 in between. But I think it's better to pull it together, and then it's kind of like goes over your bead there, your tiger eye bead. There we go. I think that looks really nice. You could still go and add more seed beads in between if you wanted to. We could we add a 15 in between? I think there are enough gaps. Why have we got less on the top than we have on the bottom? Oh yeah, because we went into the 3rd seed beads. Yeah, I got it. So I think we could, because we got less crystals in this top row than we have in the bottom row. So we could get away adding a 15 in between. And I might actually take it back and add the 15 in, because then what we can do is to link the 15s up. Or shall we? No, I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to grab another one, very quickly bead up, and then we could add the 15s in between there. because well, no, we can't, because they're not the same size. I'm not really. I don't know what's in my drink. We can't, because they're not the same amount of crystals. So I was thinking that we could link them up just like that, but we got less crystals in this inner row than we have got on the bottom row, but I still think they should be a 15 in between. It would just sort of make it stand out a little more. Which way were we traveling? I think that way. Can I pull this now? I went all the way around a couple of times, so perhaps I won't be able to pull it all the way back. So sometimes when you design something, you spend more time unpicking it than actually beading it. Sometimes I deliberately, if I'm not too far into the project, I would leave, like I would put it to the side and just leave it and bead up another one, because then I will have the I will have one to compare it with once I finish the second one. So that's usually a good idea to do as well. But I'm very quickly, if I can, I'm going to step back, bring this thread back and add the 15 in, because I think it needs it. It just needs a little spot of color in between the crystals to lift them out, if that makes sense. I like the second row of crystals. 15s perhaps would have looked nice as well on their own. We tried it on another one. But I actually, after this, let's quickly make the pendant up. Now the pendant, we're gonna be sewing a few of those together. And although you have got the earring in there to glue this on, there is, you know, nothing says that you couldn't make up another one with just having, am I all the way around? Yes. Yes, no, there's nothing in between there. So there's nothing saying you couldn't make up another one just with, let me just move this a little bit. There we go. Just have this middle bit and sort of have it sort of dangling down at the bottom. There is so many different things you could do. Right, rethreading that needle again. How many times have I rethreaded a needle tonight? Maybe 3, 4. Coming through. Right, I'm going to pick up a seed bead and then go through the next crystal. Then pick up another seed bead, go through the next crystal. Yeah, I think it needs that, just to lift the crystals a little bit, just to add that seed bead in between. Now you'd have to start with the 11s, because if we started with the 15s, we would not be able to go through so many times the adding 2 rows on the top of your bead. I am rather pleased with this, and I really want to make the black one, because I think that's gonna look gorgeous. I have started to, I love my dangly earrings. I really love them, but lately I have started to wear studs as well, and I think this would look gorgeous, because something like this you can wear it sort of every day, but then you can wear it if you go out somewhere as well. What do we think? Let me know in the comments. What do we think of it so far? I think this doesn't need any more beads. I think sometimes kind of less is more. We got so many lovely crystals on there already. I'm just running around this inner circle one more time just to tighten it. But I think it needed those seed beads in between the crystal. But if you're experimenting, please send me a picture so I can bring it in and show it to everybody else as well. There we go. Right, I think that looks good. That will look perfect as a little, and then just add a dash of glue in there, and then I would glue it from the back just in the middle. So when I glue that, I would leave the stud on the top of it, It's not going to take, and kind of like anchor it down with something or put it in between something and just leave it like that until it dries, because if you put it to the side or anywhere, this can move on, well, depending on the glue as well, but then we just glue that on. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the pendant to go with this. And then for the pendant, so our earrings is that size, I think we need at least 6, if not 8. 6 will give us, no, 6 will give you a nice little one. If I put 8 in there, hold on, let me just, I'll move the camera over because I kept going over to the left. And now I'm staying too much to the right. So I think, are we going to use 8? That's 10. I think 10 is too much. So 8 beads. That's a nice size pendant, but we could go down to 6. Let me know in the comments if I'm going to be using, or even 10, 6, 8 or 10. How many beads shall we use for the pendant? And we're gonna, with the pendant, we're gonna do kind of like similar what we did here. We're gonna use the larger crystals, but we're not really gonna, well, we can put stuff on the outer circle as well, but mainly we're gonna work pulling it into the middle. So am I using 6 beads? 6 might be too small. Am I using 8 beads, or shall we use 10 beads? I'm gonna grab the thread and grab a different thread until you let me know. Linda's saying these are looking lovely. Thank you, Linda. Desiree is saying 6, Lou is saying 8, Mina is saying 8. I think it will be rather nice to have like a little set of sort of a couple of earrings and a pendant, because then if you want you can wear it together, and if you want you can wear it separately. So I am choosing, I like larger pendants. Lona is saying 8. Let's go with 8. We try 10 with the other color in a minute. Right, so I'm gonna pick up all. And how big holes? These have got quite big holes, so we can knot it together. So sometimes I don't like to knot my threads together, just because, well, but then if I knot it together, then it will be quite rigid. So maybe not. Maybe I go through an extra time. So there's a couple, when I start something off. So I always go through the beads first if I want to go into the circle, and sometimes I knot my tail end and my working thread together. Sometimes it's not good, because if the holes on the beads are, especially if you got like 11, oh yes, if we add I'm just putting it on and I'm thinking something else already. Welcome to Sunday. Let me just pull this down a little bit. There we go. So I think we need to add a seed bead in between so we can come out of the seed bead. Or maybe we add the seed bead on the top, and then it will sit toward the side. Yep, okay, I got it. I need a seed bead in between, but if you add the seed bead right in between the beads, it will be quite hard to come in and out of, because it will kind of get stuck in between the beads, and you somewhat want to have a tight tension. So I've been around once, and I'm going to go around again to have a nice and tight tension. I'm not going to knot it, but it's got quite large holes, so I can go around again. There we go. And pull this up. So I'm going around the second time. I'm just going to go one bead more so I can pull it nice and tight. So what I'm going to do next, I need a seed bead to anchor into. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up a seed bead. I'm going to pick up a size 11 and just go through the next tiger eye. Another size 11. Next tiger eye. Actually, I'm not sure if I want to use size 15s or if I want to use size 11s for this. Size 11 would probably be better because you can see the size 15 might be a little bit more neater. Let's try it with size 11. And then there's two ways we could do this. We could have done, if you done the looping method, then we didn't need to add the seed beads in between. But because we added just that one seed bead in between, we can just run around. There's so many different ones you could do with this. I went around, I'm gonna come up in that very first seed bead, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I want to add, how many seed beads do we need this time? Because it's not quite, I'm gonna start with 6 and let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just go through the next seed bead. So 6 is not enough because we got a big gap there of thread showing, so we're still gonna need more, unless if we pull this to the inner side, no, it's still not enough. I think I'm gonna leave the decoration on the outer side of this. So let's do 8 and see. Yep, that gives us a nice little curve there. And then I'm going to pick up another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after this, I will grab another color, and then we can make one where we not running around with the loops, but kind of looping around how we added the second row on the earring itself, and then you're going to have a different effect. I don't know, yeah, maybe just add one little crystal in here. That would look good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and coming through. And then we could add stuff in the middle as well. We could have, I'm just going to pick up all of my normal seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could add seed beads like running in between as well. I think that would look really good as well. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming through the next one. And almost all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my last one. Oh, it looks so pretty, like a little flower. Need a few more seed beads. Celia's saying she just sent me tonight's bunting flag on Messenger. Thank you. Is that to Kitty Robinson Designs or my one? I think it must be Kitty Robinson Designs. So go and get that. Just one sec. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And then coming through the very first one. So I'm gonna go in the first loop and let's just have a look. So I want to add a crystal in the corner. So I'm gonna need, I reckon, if I come out of the seed bead, the one before last, so I'm gonna go all the way through the first loop, and I want to come out, not the last one, but the one before. Just pick this up, and I'm just gonna pick up the crystal, and I'm gonna add it on there. I think I want a larger one. And go, skip the first one and go through. If it feels sit nice, it's not gonna sit. Is this gonna sit nice? Sometimes you have to go all the way around before it pulls itself the right way. Let me just add a couple more, and then we see, so I'm just running around in this circle and picking up a crystal. And then you can always go around and add more and more crystals. Oh, Victoria said 7 to the pendant with 7. Yeah, we could have done. And that would have been bang in the middle between 6 and 8. I like your logic. I don't know, sometimes it's just nice to work with even numbers. And keep adding these crystals. And then we can go ahead and add more, sort of a second row on the top, and do all sorts of different things. Like you can keep going around as much as you want when forming something like this. But I want to do one when we do the beads in the middle. Like I kind of like a bit, I don't want to cover up those lovely tiger eye beads. So I want to keep it as much as I can open. But we're going to do one in the middle on the next one, and the crystals is probably going to be sitting on the top here. So depends, we see. We will, and then we can compare the two designs. There we go. What do we think so far? And keep going around. Just going to add the last one in. Picking up the last crystal and then going up. Now, so what shall we do next? So we can add, I think it's a little bit flimsy still, so we need to add something else on the top of it. I don't really want to come on the top of the tiger eye beads. I want to leave those nice and sort of, you know, just them to be able to shine through and show. I really want to add some size 15 somewhere because like, you know, we have that color of size 15 in the earring, so kind of want to bring it in here as well. And if you see with the earring, we got a nice and tight finish around it, and here, because of our loops, you can still see some of the gaps. So we need to, I wanna kind of like add something on the top here. So what I am going to do is, as we added 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so as I'm coming out of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so 8 4, so I got 3 beads in front of me, because I haven't got middle one because we've done 8 seed beads, so I'm gonna have to go through always the middle too. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick up 1 2 3, will 4 do? I think 4 will do. 4 size 15s, and I'm gonna go into this original 11 with the first 11s we added and just pull it up. So just gonna give us a spot of color just here on the top, and then I'm gonna pick up another 4, and this time I'm gonna count. So I'm gonna count 1 2 3. I'm gonna go to the 4th and the 5th seed bead on the next loop, and then when I pull this up, this one is going to sort of go back down, and then I'm going to pick up another 4. 1 2 3 4, again hooking into the original seed bead. So we kind of like having like a little petal, and then we're going to come through the 15s and we're going to add a couple in here, so we're going to have like a weaving effect with the 15s. So 1 2 3 4, and 1 2 3, going through the 2, the 4th and the 5th on the next loop, and I'm just going to keep adding that around. I love doing like this, when you keep adding rows and rows and rows on top of each other. It just really make, like, you know, there is there's so many, like you can go as long as you want, like you don't have to stop at all. And I just love it. You can kind of like, as long as you sort of kind of play by the rules of 1, 2, 3, this 2 I need to go through, of picking up the right amount of beads, you can absolutely add more and more and more to it. So, and then going into the original, what do we think so far? I think it's going to look rather cute with the little size 15s. Looks like an 8-petal Tudor rose, Celia is saying. Maybe. I think the Tudor rose, like, if we had the 15s coming in more, yes, definitely. Can the crystals sit in the middle? Yeah, we're going to do another one, Victoria. But the reason why I did it this way, because if you bring the loops in the middle, which can absolutely do, but then the crystals are kind of like going to sit here and they will cover up some of the tiger eye. So I just wanted to do something very don't cover up the tiger eye at all, because it's such a lovely, they're just such lovely beads. They don't, but we do, I'll do the other one, which is going to be a little bit different technique. So it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, the 4 or 5 beads I need to go through. It's going to be looping how we looped the second row on the earring. And then what we could add, we could even add a smaller crystal in here. That would look cute as well. Don't have to add just the seed beads. You could add the smaller crystals in there. But these tiger eye beads are 8mm. So you could try this with other 8mm beads as well. Almost all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I add a row on and then I go back and take it off. And then I decide, oh yeah, no, I did like it, and I put it back again. But this is a design process. Like, you know, you never know really what you're going to end off. This is what I love doing. This is my favorite thing to do, just to sit there and play with the beads. It's like the only thing I can, 1, 2, 3, 4th and 5th, I need to come through. The one thing I can sort of compare this, the feeling for me, is when my son Christopher just sits down and plays with the Lego and just makes up like anything, like just puts the bricks together and keep putting it and adding and taking away and then adding it more, and that's the only thing I can sort of compare how beading feels for me, I guess. So coming to the last 2 now, that's much more solid already. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna add, I don't think we can add a large crystal, but I think we can definitely fit a small crystal in. Victoria is saying she will try the seed beads on the inside with the crystal. So are we adding a small crystal? I don't think we can fit in a big one. Oh, maybe. But then we have to come up with the seed beads. I'm going to go in with a small crystal and see what happens. I will be able to fit the small crystal in here as well. Let's have a look. Maybe just about. Let me try. So I'm going to go into the 4 size 15 through the 4 size 15. I'm going to pick up a smaller crystal and then come out the next 4, and that crystal I'm just going to sit there. Then I'm going to pick up another small crystal and just go through the 4 size 15s, and let's add another couple, and then we see if we're going to continue with it or we're gonna take it back out. But I think they're going to look good. I think they're going to look good. What do we think? I think they're going to look good. I think. Do you want me to add the crystals around, or shall I take it out? Do let me know. What shall I do? Shall I keep adding the crystals in, or shall we take it out? I think they're going to look nice in, to be honest. And then we could, I want to kind of go down from this crystal to the bottom crystal as well, to link those up. I need a few more crystals. So now just add these on. But if I had a small pearl, I could add a small pearl in there. There's so many different things you could do. And just gonna keep adding these crystals, little crystals in. And there we go. And coming up halfway around, or just a bit more than halfway. And there we go. What do we think so far? Do let me know in the chat. What do you think so far? I love making patterns like this. And we did a little star last year as well with crystals and pearls, and that looked so nice too. Keep going around. Almost done. And then I think I'm just going to add a few more 15s. I just want to link in those larger crystals in with the smaller crystal with some seed beads. One, two, three, four. Another crystal, and then this is just adding the last one now. So I'm gonna come through these 15s. Come on, thread, not the last crystal. Getting it knotting at the last crystal. How naughty. Naughty thread. If you had two different colors of seed beads and made a figure of 8 around the tiger eye beads, it might not cover it up. I'll show you just in a sec what I'm thinking. So I'm going to come down to the crystals and the next 4 seed beads. I'm going to come to this little crystal, and now I'm going to pick up, let's say 1, 2, 3. Let's try 3. 1, 2, 3 seed beads, and just from the little crystal I'm going to go into that one size up, and then pick up another 3, and then come back to the little one, another 3, as this is all size 15s. Go back out to the bigger one, another 3, 1, 2, 3, come back to that one. It just kind of like links it together, I think. Or is it too much? It also gives a bit more color. I'm just going to keep going, and let me add a few more. And sometimes you just need to add a few more before it looks, sometimes you haven't done enough of a pattern. One, two, picking up 3. 1, 2, 3. I think I kind of like it. What do you think? And I think that will be enough. Like, you know, I wouldn't probably want to add any more to it, because we got like a quite nice intricate sort of design on the side of it. And then just add either a closed ring or make a bail up. It depends how you want to connect it up to your necklace, or what sort of necklace you want to add it on. You might be able to get away just with a very small bail, or you might want to add something a bit larger if you want to wear with a thicker necklace. I need a few more seed beads. I think that looks really sweet. Ruth is saying she likes it. I like it too, Ruth. So what we ladies had dinner for today, and gentlemen as well, I guess. What do we had for Sunday lunch in your house? I like, because I had to go to Hungary last week and Christopher wasn't able to come with me because he had school last week, but Lucy was off. So I took Lucy with me. And today I had to cook Hungarian goulash because he felt he missed out on Hungary, so he wanted some Hungarian food. So that's what we had for lunch. I think that looks rather sweet. I probably would do, there's all sorts of bells you can do on it. Make it kinda easier. You definitely wanna, no, we could do like a little, how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe we just want 4. Right, so I'm going to go out into the size 11s, and I'm going to come out the first, the one after the crystal. Could do just like a little peyote bell, I think would look cute on it. Just a 4 bead one, nothing really wide, just a little 4 bead one. And then I'm just going to pick up one, miss one out, go through the next. Pick up another one, miss one out, go through the next, and then I'm going to turn back on myself. But it's only 4 beads, it's going to grow. Or we could do a herringbone as well, a little herringbone bell, that would have looked cute as well. Do we want a peyote? Yeah, I think a peyote will look nice. There's so many different, you know, bells you can do. There's so many different beadwork around the beads you can do, and it's kind of like the combinations, adding them together makes them very different. I like to do like a peyote bell because it's kind of like simple but elegant. So with peyote stitch, you always pick up a bead and you go through, you miss one bead and to go through the next bead, because this is only 4 bead. Maybe I should have done it in 15s, but never mind. Only 4 beads, so it's gonna grow very quickly. I'm not gonna stitch it all the way because that's probably gonna take me like 10 minutes just to do the bell, but just wanted to add a few on there so you can see what would it look like. There we go. Obviously I would make this about 1 inch long. There we go. And going back on it. Just adding this row, and then I'm going to turn it around and show you. So I would just keep on going until I got an inch, and then quite simply I would just fold it back on itself and then stitch the end down. But that's kind of like how much you're gonna see of the bell there. Or quite equally, you could take it sort of further down as well. But I think just as quite a simple bell like that, probably need to do a few more. I think will look really cute on it, and it's off the shot. So there we go. Let's try to have the beads inside. So I'm gonna grab the green colorway, and I'm only going to use size 11s for this, and I'm going to use, I use 8 again. And size 11s, and then the crystals. So this time we're going to loop it around it. Right, I need a different color thread. Oh, no, I think that seafoamy thread. I haven't got a seafoamy thread. I think there's one in the lounge, but I'm not going to run for it. Oh, I'll tell you what, on my little thread, where are you? There will be someone here. Yes. So I got like one of each color on a necklace, actually, on a tiger tail necklace, and I don't ever take them off because then I always got extra thread here and there everywhere, but I like to have one of each on there, so I don't so I always got, and then I will just work off that. So it's just sort of a tiger tail necklace, and I have got, let me zoom out, and I just added one of each color on there, so I always got the right color to play with. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up, actually I'm gonna have to cut this off, just leave a long tail. I'm gonna pick up all 8 again, but this time I'm gonna add a seed bead in between. So it just, this time the seed bead in between is just gonna give me sort of a bead width in between. So when I loop over, I'm not even gonna go through those seed beads anymore, but it just will let the I kind of like, I need to show you to explain it. So the seed bead loops will be able to go down all the way, and we're not going to see the thread at all. I'm wondering if I should do 6 then, because with the 8 with the seed bead in between might be too big. I'm going to do 6. So a tiger eye, seed tiger eye all the way around. And I'm going to go through this one more time, all of the beads, and then come through the first maybe 2 or 3 again to form a nice little circle. Maybe be too small, don't know. Maybe go opposite with the next color, do more. I'm going to come through the first few, and I want to be able, well, I want to come out of a tiger eye bead itself. So as I'm coming out, I'm just going to go through a few more because I can feel the thread is slipping. So well, maybe a few more. I want to have a nice sort of solidish base, but not too, I suppose we could have knotted it. Right, there we go. So when I'm saying it's slipping, so when I pull on my thread, I sort of want to get to the point, if I'm not knotting it, that when I pull on my thread, the tail is not traveling in, it's not pulling the thread in. So you want to come out of a tiger eye bead. And then we're going to pick up, how many do we have? I think we're going to have to pick up 9 because 8 is not gonna work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 be enough? 8, 9. I'm gonna go with 9. And then see. And then come through the same bead again. And I just got a knot on my thread. I don't know what's going on with knots tonight. So let's see how big is the loop of 9. I think that will be fine, because this time we're going to be pulling these beads in the middle here, and we kind of need a single bead. Now if we went with 7, no, we're going to go with 9. So because we added the seed bead in between, can you see now the loop of seed beads are able to go down and butt against the original seed bead there. If we didn't do that, and then let me just get this back. So when we start with the seed beads, you would be able to see that much, probably like a bead or a bead and a half worth of thread before your bead would sit on the top. So that's all is that single seed bead which we added in the first row doing there, the letting this loop to butt against. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to go through the next seed bead and the next tiger eye bead. I'm going to pull this up. I think I'm going to borrow 2 from the, or just 1, no 2. I'm going to borrow 2 from the previous loop. So we picked up 9 plus we're going to borrow 2 from the previous loop, so I'm going to have to pick up 7 this time. I'm going to go down through the 2 in the previous loop. I'm going to skip over that seed bead and go into the tiger eye bead. So I'm not going through the original seed bead, just the tiger eye bead. And I'm going to pull this up. There we go. And it's already pulling to the top because they're sharing those 2 seed beads. Going through the next seed bead and tiger eye bead. I'm going to pick up 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, going down to the last 2 on the previous loop and through the tiger eye. Then through the seed bead and the tiger eye bead in front. I'm pulling this up nice and tight. Let's have a look. We'll be pulling those in with a crystal. I think 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the first loop is 9 beads and every other loop is just 7 because you're borrowing 2 from the loop before. And just keep going around to add your loops on the top. Going down the last 2, skipping over the base bead. And now, because this is going to be my last loop, I'm gonna go through this tiger eye here, but also I'm gonna come up through the first 2 seed beads on the very first loop we added and pull this up. Now I'm gonna pick up only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go down on the loop before and into the tiger eye bead. There we go. So we got our loops and we're gonna now go into the loops and pull them more into the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and up in my first loop. So because we got 9 beads, I want to come out of the 4th bead. So if I'm counting from all the way from the bottom, then I'm no, 5th bead, sorry. I'm going to come out of the 5th bead, which is right the middle loop. If you're just counting the top part where the seed beads are not shared, then you want to come out of the 3rd bead. So want to come out of the middle seed bead of that loop. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up a crystal. I just need to get some of the strand. So I don't want to add the purple one in there. I'm going to pick up a crystal. Then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through the middle seed bead on the next loop. and just add that crystal in there. And picking up another crystal and going through. Now, if you made a smaller loops, then perhaps the seed beads would be pulling in more to the middle. 1, 2, 3. That's what I need. This you can play with the number of seed beads you're adding onto your loops. Perhaps you want to start with just a seed bead loop in the middle and then add the bigger beads on as you're coming out. But can you see, like now, we go all the way around, that the seed beads kind of is still really nice, but kind of covering those tiger eye beads a little bit. I'm just going to put the other one next door to it. So this one is really pretty, but this one is more open. And this one is, I suppose, like you can see still quite a lot of it. So still really nice. Victoria said go with 7. Should have. You can do any number, I guess, with that pattern because the loops are quite forgiving. And Lucy popped the link in again. That green is lovely. She's saying, oh, I love this green. It's a little bit more like a minty sea-foamy green. Lucy's saying like this version. And with like doing this, and actually we haven't really done pendants like this for quite some time. So I might pop in. I'm just going to go around the crystals. So I'm going to miss out the seed beads. I'm just going to go through the crystals to pull those crystals together as much as I can. Remember, when you're coming out of a crystal, don't pull your thread too hard because the crystal can cut your thread. So I'm just going through the crystals to tighten them up, tighten them together. Now, if you probably would need more, you would need 8 beads. But with this technique, like you could put a smaller rivulet in between if you had it, or both of the sides you covered with the same technique. So I'm just going through the crystals. And then we're going to add a little bail to the top. Now probably the easiest thing to do again is to add just in between there, add like a closed ring. Right, what sort of bail shall we start, or shall we add onto the top of this one? It's quite a small, well not small, it's probably just a tiny bit bigger than a £1 coin, but it's a little bit smaller than a £2 coin, so just kind in between. Now I'm going to go out to, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to go up the first 2 just like that. Before, I'm not going into the beads, but the beads which is shared. So I've just gone through the 2 towards the 2 shared, but I haven't gone through the 2 which is shared. And I'm gonna pick up, let's say, 9 again. 1, 2, 3, maybe 11, because 9 might not be big enough. Let's do 11. And then I'm just going to go through that single seed bead in between the one of the base beads in between the tiger eyes. This is 11. 11 is probably, it's smallish, but I think it's going to be enough. And then as I'm coming out of that bead, I'm going to go straight back in the seed beads. There we go. Just like that. And now, this time when I get to the front, instead of going back into the bead, I came out of this bead here, and I'm going to turn my direction and go down to the other 2. Oh, hold on, I missed the bead there. Go down to the other 2. to complete. They have this in the middle, and that's it. Just a little loop of beads, but I could have added a closed ring in there as well. Very simple. And if I wanted to add, I could have added another loop here and then add another loop on the top if I wanted to this to sit even further up. I probably, well, not probably, I would go around this one more time and then go through the loop one more time just to make it sit. Do you want to pull those together? No. Just going to go through the crystals again just to really strengthen the bell. But I think that's, and I just looped the thread. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my thread tonight. I would like to say, oh, I haven't been beading last week, but I have. I've taken beads with me, and just fold this on there. There we go. I have taken beads with me, and my little traveling bead tray thing. Right, so I would go all the way around back into the loop just to strengthen it. But I think that's kinda. I like this version. So you could do with larger one as well. But I like this one as well. Maybe like this one again would look nice, sort of smaller as well. What do we think? Is the crystals in the middle very smaller and any larger one on the outside of the tiger eye beads? So for this one, these are 3mm crystals, and this one as well, and these are 4mm crystals. This one I used 4mm crystals in the middle, and for the little earring we used 3mm crystals only. And then I'm gonna glue the post from the back. Oh, Sheila saying, nearly miss you. Didn't think there would be any tonight. I'm here, Sheila. I'm back. I'm here. I came back on Friday night. We had to queue up over an hour once the plane landed, but we got through. We got home at 2 a.m. Michelle is saying like the smaller one. Yeah, it's got sort of like a little bit more plain. Maybe we need to work on this a little bit more to kind of, maybe you do it with 6 beads. Minnie's saying love it. It looks nice. Lucy's saying like this version. Right, okay, so what shall we try with the black ones? I think if we tried just to do a little earring, I might as well get the black ones out because I'm dying to get the black color out. If we did a little earring but made it, ooh, we could do like a droppy shape with it as well. We could have two. So if like for that, if I had another one underneath it, I think that would look nice as well. Or just have one. So shall we have a little play with another earring? I'm wondering if I started with the crystals first and then added a bead on the top, and then we could, I'm just thinking, looking at the 6 crystals is probably not enough. But if we added the crystals and then we kind of like sandwiched the bead in between 2 crystals or rows of seed beads. No, there's so many different things you could do. Right, okay. So I'm gonna just pull these seed beads to the side, and then I'm gonna grab the black ones out because I definitely want. But I do like this one. I do like this version myself as well. Right, okay, so black one's coming out. And we're gonna go back and do a little earring. I think for this one, I just love that shimmer on there. This is so pretty. Do I want to use size 15s or do I want to use size 11s? And actually, if we had, so we had, how many did we have? This one we had 18. If we added less onto the top of it, if we stood it with 16, would then that kind of go underneath? I'm just thinking out loud here. Right, I'm grabbing some thread and a needle, trying to find a straightish needle. There's only bent needles sometimes in my stash, so I'm gonna go through the bead. I'm just wondering if I just did, if I picked up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then through my bead again. Oh, we could brick stitch bits in between as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Went through from the tail again. And if you pull this up, and if you pull those together, so we have more room. Yeah. So I'm just going to go through and sew these 16 together. So remember we had 18 on the one before, and I'm just going to try 16 because I want to kind of build towards the side a bit more. So have the tiger eye bead like kind of like pop out in the middle. But it might not be enough. I might have to cut up and start again, but just an idea. So all the way around. No, it's not going to work because it's closing in too nice. So the idea was that it's going to pop out, but it's not. It's too tight. So the 16 is too tight. So can you see? Obviously, because the ends, it can't pull into a smaller circle, so it kind of just like sort of pulls over it. It kind of looks like an eye. So 16, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna go back. Hopefully, I can just easily stitch back through these and add the extra ones in. We could go the opposite and make it 20. I'm really hoping I haven't gone through the thread. So far, so good. It's always so nerve-wracking when you're stitching backwards. Right, pull it up nice and tight. What would happen if we added... No, 1 is enough. 2 in. I'm just going to add 1 in. So we're going to end up with 18 around it. Now I want to do... We could have done a little herringbone strip and put it on there. What would that look? Ooh. So, what I'm going to do, I've got 18 here. I'm going to turn this sideways and I'm going to add, oh, I got an idea. Where's the size 15s for the black one? Here. So I'm going to do, I'm not going to use the crystals just yet. I'm going to pick up a size 15, a size 11, size 15, and I'm going to come through that same size 11 and the one in front of it. Let me just push these out of the camera so it doesn't try to focus on it. And then I am going to pick up a 15 and then 11, come down through the 15, to the same 11 and the one in front of it, and pull this up nice and tight. And in the end we're going to pull the 11s together, so I'm always picking up a 15 and an 11 from after the first one, down the 15 which is already there, and along. And I'm just gonna, you could, like, in the end you could leave this open, but I'm gonna pull it in to see what is it gonna look like. It's always a 15 and an 11, then the 11, there we go. Sometimes I love using crystals, you know, and I was definitely a magpie in a previous life, but sometimes it's so nice to use just seed beads. Then the 11 and along. There we go. Keep picking up just 115, 111. And keep making my way around. Actually, what would look nice as well, just sort of pause here for a sec, that we could add more beads in between, and then have still glue the post on the top just like that, as we would do with the other one, but you would have more of a, still kind of like a stud, but have more of a little bit of a hanging down here. That would look really good as well. So for that I would turn around and add another seed bead or crystals or something in between those. That would look really good as well. But I'm going to go around this, adding my beads. There's so many different things, and sometimes, like, the best thing to do is when you're designing something, just time to time pop it down to your mat, have a look, and then have a look again, and, you know, add a few more beads, have a look again. And there we go. So always picking up a size 15 and size 11, going down in the size 15, along in the 2 11s, and I'm almost all the way around. Well, a little bit over halfway, not almost all the way around, but you know what I mean. Figure of 8 seed beads with tiger eye beads in the middle of the loops. Yep, that would look really good as well. I think I got a bead here which is a little bit tighter. I managed to pull my thread through. There we go. Let's keep going around. So you could leave the size 15 as a pretty decoration, or in our case, I didn't pick up the size 11. I pinked the size 11 away. Let's pull this thread back. This is like so typical me, like already thinking of the next step, what I want to do, and then I mess up the step I'm actually on. But never mind. I'm gonna grab a size 11 needle, because the one I was using was 10. I got used to the size 11 needles. They're so nice. Right, 11 as well, then down and going that way, almost all the way around. Keep pulling it tight. And there we go. What do we think so far? Do let me know in the comments. Would you perhaps done it differently? How would you have done it? There we go. And pulling it tight. And this is the one the last before. Then the size 15 along to size 11 at the bottom, and then for the last one I'm gonna come up through the size 15 which is already there. No, don't wanna go in the 11, just the 15, and then I'm gonna pick up an 11, go down through that 15 and into the 11. Right, so we got two choices here. We could either add another row of 11s in between to make it sort of more fanny out. But what I want to do is to go into that row of 11s, the outer row. And I'm just going to sew them together. And there's just a little knot. We don't not want you. So I'm just going to sew these 11s together. Probably going to have to go through a couple of times to pull them nice and tight. This may or may not work. Maybe you should have done the stitching off the bead and then add it onto the bead itself, but I think it's going to look good. And then we got a knot. I don't know what's going on with my thread tonight. Right, are you going to come apart? No. Let's grab another needle. Knots are a part of life. Hold on. Maybe we should have like a knot diary. That would be something silly to do, wouldn't it? Just like each day we write down how many knots did we get today. And at the end of the year we could add it all up. There we go. Right, so I'm going around just the 11s, pulling them tight. So you should turn. They should turn in. I don't even know if I want to add crystals on this, or I just want to keep the seed beads. Just is sometimes nice to have something a little bit more simpler. So all the way around. That's the last one. And pulling it tight. So that's, if you just leave it like that, I mean, you could use either side as the front. This one, if I use this side, it's kind of like, it looks like it sits in it. If I use the other side as the front, it looks like the bead is, in a way, it's popping out of it. So if I turn it to the side, can you see? But I'm going to really, maybe if you did size 15s, oh, that probably would have pulled it over it. I'm going to go through these 11s, just a few more beads. Or the other thing what we can do, is to navigate it up to the hole and then go and sew these beads, this row, through the hole of the tiger eye as well. What do we think? I don't think this one needs crystals. I think it just needs to, because we added those 15s, so when you're going to be wearing it, and if some people see you from the side profile, they're going to see those little 15s in there. And if not, then you're just going to have like a nice little, like a one bead with size, with the seed, one bead with the seed beads in between. But we could still go and add more crystals onto it. So if I wanted to, I could add a crystal row either in the inner side or on the outer side of it, because you got the size 15s. We could, I'm not gonna go ahead and take those off, but we could just stitch just a simple round of crystals around and hook them into those 15s, and that would look really good as well. Quite simple, nothing more to it, but just have like a round of crystals on the outside. Then probably it would be every other size 15 which would need to stitch it to, or maybe every size 15, but I think that would look really good as well. Right, my lovelies, it's a 9 p.m. I need to go and make sure my children are in bed, because Lucy needs to get up at 6 a.m. And Monday mornings, I don't know about your house, but Monday mornings in our house are the hardest one of the whole week. Really, really hard to get them up. I'm going to sign off. Everybody have a beautiful week. I'll be with you on Wednesday on Totally Beads, and we're going to make these beautiful Arcos bracelets. Do tune in for that one. I'll be back next Sunday. And have I got it here? So, there. If I can put my hand on it, I'll show you. So next Sunday, we're going to be using some beautiful stone chips, and I got size 8, size 11 and size 15 seed beads. I'm thinking, I've already got a bracelet design in mind. Let's zoom out. I already got a bracelet design in mind, but I have added I just added 4 color onto the website. So tiger eye, of course, because like we it's the year of the tiger. I had to add the Amazonite in because that's my favorite stone, and I definitely want to do that one. I did the moonstone in because that's kind of like the tigerite, got that beautiful shimmer on it, and I added labradorite in because again with labradorite you got the shimmer in it as well. So it's kind of like the theme of the tigerite, but with the tigerite as well. I added this I think it's blue tigerite, this one called. Really, really beautiful sort of browny bronzy colorways in there. So those are the 4 ones we're going to be working with next week if you fancy it. If not, and if you got some chips at home, then just grab some chips and seed beads and we're going to have a good play. I have got an idea. I got not one. I got a few ideas actually what to do with it, but I really cannot wait. Everybody have a beautiful week. Thank you so much for turning up and watching me. I appreciate every single one of you. It's just like so, it's just so nice. Like on Sunday nights, you spend your Sunday nights with me, and I'll be back next weekend. Everybody take care and have a wonderful week.